The hook. Awakening the listener. My friend, let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly slowed down? Not just slowed your body, but slowed your mind, your thoughts, your racing heart. We live in an age that glorifies speed. Everything around us screams faster. Faster internet, faster travel, faster results. The one who works faster is seen as smarter. The one who responds quicker is seen as more valuable. The one who moves rapidly is considered more successful. But here is the question no one asks. Where exactly are we rushing to, and what are we losing along the way? Imagine yourself driving a car at full speed on a foggy road. The engine roars, the wheels spin, but your vision is unclear. No matter how fast you move, you are still lost. This is how most of us live. We confuse motion with progress, speed with success, busyness with purpose. But the truth is, you can run quickly and still be running in the wrong direction. You can hustle endlessly and still miss the very meaning of life. Sometimes, to truly move ahead, you must first learn to slow down. Sometimes the greatest progress begins not with action, but with a pause. Pause for a moment and look at nature. The ocean does not always crash. It retreats before it rises again. The seasons do not rush from winter to spring. They pause, they wait, they prepare. Even your heart, the very rhythm of your life, beats with contraction and release, movement and pause. Without that pause, there is no life. If the heart rushed without rest, it would collapse. If the ocean flowed endlessly without retreat, it would destroy. If the seasons never paused, life would not flourish. Nature itself is teaching us that slowing down is not weakness, it is wisdom. But we, in our obsession with speed, have forgotten this truth. We run from one task to another, one goal to another, one dream to another, without stopping.
To breathe, to reflect, to ask ourselves, is this the right path? Is this truly what I want? We fear slowing down because we think it means falling behind, but the irony is this: slowing down often brings you further ahead than rushing ever could. Think about the archer. Before releasing the arrow, he pauses, steadies his breath, focuses his aim. That pause makes the shot powerful. Think about a musician. Without silence between the notes, there is no melody, only noise. In the same way, without pauses in life, your actions become scattered, your energy wasted, your purpose blurred. But when you slow down, when you pause, you gather strength, you gain clarity, and you prepare yourself to move with greater power. So my friend, as we begin this journey together, I invite you to challenge what the world has taught you. Success is not always about speed. Fulfillment is not always about constant motion. The truth is, slowing down is sometimes the fastest way to reach where you are truly meant to go.
The illusion of constant motion. We live in a culture that worships speed and busyness. From childhood, we are taught that to stop is to fail. The student who studies the longest is praised. The worker who stays the latest is admired. The entrepreneur who never rests is glorified as unstoppable. And so, we grow into adults who measure our worth by how tired we feel at the end of the day. Exhaustion has become a badge of honor. But what if this belief is nothing more than an illusion? Imagine a hamster running on its wheel. It runs furiously, its legs moving as fast as they can. But when the wheel stops, the hamster is still in the same cage. This is what constant motion without reflection looks like. We are running, we are sweating, we are exhausted, and yet, when we pause to look at our lives, we often find that we are standing in the same place. We may have collected titles, possessions, or recognition, but deep inside, we still feel unfulfilled. That is the danger of mistaking motion for progress. Think about the way many people live today. Wake up early, rush through breakfast, answer messages before leaving for work, sit through endless meetings, juggle tasks, fight traffic on the way home, and then collapse into bed only to repeat it all tomorrow. From the outside, it looks like productivity, but on the inside, there is emptiness, disconnection, even loneliness. Is this really success, or is it simply noise disguised as achievement? The illusion of constant motion tricks us into believing that doing more is always the answer. If we are unhappy, we assume we must work harder. If we feel lost, we believe we must run faster. But no amount of speed can help you if you are moving in the wrong direction. Climbing a ladder quickly means nothing if the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. This is the tragedy of blind hustle. We may arrive somewhere quickly, but it may not be where we truly belong. Nature shows us a different truth. A tree does not grow taller because it rushes. It grows because it stays rooted, patient, aligned with the seasons. The river does not force itself forward. It flows naturally, bending and pausing as needed, yet it always finds the ocean. Even the heart, the very rhythm of life, cannot beat without rest between pulses. Without pause, there is no life. Without slowing, there is no strength. So ask yourself, are you truly progressing, or are you only busy? Are you moving closer to your soul's purpose, or are you running in circles, distracted by the illusion of motion? Remember, constant activity is not proof of success. Sometimes it is a mask hiding confusion, fear, or emptiness. True success requires awareness, alignment, and clarity. And those are only found when you dare to pause. The illusion of constant motion will keep you chasing forever. But the wisdom of slowing down will guide you where you are truly meant to go. The wisdom of pausing. When people hear the word pause, many imagine weakness. They think of laziness, wasted time, or falling behind. But the truth is far greater. Pausing is not weakness. Pausing is wisdom. It is the secret key that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. Think of an archer. Before the arrow is released, there is a pause. The archer steadies his hands, slows his breath, and focuses his aim. That stillness gives the arrow its power. Without it, the shot would be wild and wasted. In the same way, your life requires pauses if your actions are to be powerful. Without them, you may move constantly, but without accuracy or direction. With them, you move less often, but with greater purpose and impact. Pausing is also the way we recharge. Imagine a runner who never stops to drink water. He may sprint ahead for a while, but eventually his body collapses. In life, we often do the same. We keep going, pushing, hustling, refusing to stop. But sooner or later, exhaustion catches up. And what could have been achieved with clarity and balance is lost to burnout. The wisdom of pausing is the wisdom of self-preservation. It reminds us that rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Even nature reflects this truth. The ocean waves do not endlessly rise. They pause before they fall. The day does not rush into night. It eases into it with the stillness of twilight. The earth itself rests in winter, gathering energy for the bloom of spring. Everything in creation has its rhythm, movement and pause, sound and silence, growth and rest. Why then do we believe we can defy this law of existence? When you pause, you also invite clarity. How often do your best ideas come not while forcing yourself to think, but when you step away, when you take a walk, or when you sit quietly in silence? The mind, when constantly in motion, becomes clouded. But in the pause, like muddy water left to settle, the thoughts clear and the truth becomes visible. Pausing allows you to see the bigger picture, to reconnect with your purpose, to remember why you are on this path in the first place. Pausing is not about doing nothing. It is about creating space for everything that truly matters. It is in the pause that you hear your inner voice, the whisper of intuition, the call of your soul. Without pause, that voice is drowned by noise. With pause, it becomes your guide. So do not fear slowing down. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Pausing is not the end of progress. It is the preparation for greater progress. It is the wisdom that reminds you, speed without direction is chaos, but speed with clarity is power. And clarity only comes when you pause. Spiritual lessons from stillness. Across every culture, every faith, and every age, the greatest teachers and seekers of truth have discovered the same secret. Stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. Pausing is not wasting time. It is preparing for something greater. The spiritual lesson hidden in stillness is that sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful act of all. Think of the Buddha. For years, he pushed himself to extremes, starving his body and exhausting his mind in search of enlightenment. Yet it was not in endless striving that he found truth. It was when he finally sat quietly beneath the Bodhi tree, surrendered to stillness, and simply allowed himself to be, that awakening came. His story reminds us that the deepest answers are not forced. They are revealed in silence. Consider the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before his mission began, he would withdraw from the noise of the city into the cave of Hira. There, in solitude and stillness, he reflected, prayed, and connected with the divine. It was in that pause, away from hustle, that revelation descended. His example shows us that transformation is born in moments of silence. Jesus too sought solitude. Surrounded by crowds and demands, he often retreated to mountains or wilderness, not to escape responsibility, but to renew his spirit. His strength to heal, to love, and to teach was rooted in those pauses of prayer. The lesson is clear. To serve the world fully, you must first connect deeply in stillness. And this wisdom is not limited to prophets or saints. Across the East, yogis, monks, and sages have practiced silence and meditation for centuries. They understood that the mind is like a lake. When it is disturbed, you see only ripples and distortion. But when it is still, it reflects the truth clearly, like a mirror. Stillness brings clarity, nature AE. Also echoes this lesson. The seed rests in the soil before it becomes a tree. The caterpillar pauses in its cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly. Even the heart pauses between each beat, and in that pause, life is sustained. The universe itself is a dance of movement and stillness, action and rest, sound and silence. Without the pause, the rhythm of existence would collapse. So what does this teach us about our own lives? It teaches us that we do not need to chase every moment, fill every silence, or rush through every season. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop. To stop forcing, to stop pushing, to stop running, and to simply listen. For in that listening, you will hear the voice of wisdom that hustle hides. The spiritual lesson of stillness is simple but life-changing. You are not separate from life's rhythm, you are part of it. When you pause, you align with the divine flow. When you are still, you awaken to your true self. And in that awakening, you find a success deeper than anything the world can offer, the practice of slowing down. It is one thing to admire the wisdom of stillness, but another to practice it. Inspiration without action fades quickly. The real transformation begins when you learn to slow down in the middle of your busy life, when you bring the power of pausing into your daily rhythm. The good news is that you do not need to escape to the mountains or live in a monastery to embrace this truth. You can begin right where you are, with simple, intentional steps. Start your day with a pause. Before you reach for your phone, before you check messages or dive into work, sit quietly for a few minutes. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and simply notice that you are alive. Let your thoughts settle. This small ritual may take only 5 minutes, but it sets the tone for the entire day. It is like tuning your instrument before playing the music of life. Throughout your day, find small opportunities to pause. Before making a decision, take a breath. Instead of reacting instantly to challenges, allow yourself a moment of silence to respond with clarity. When walking, slow your steps and feel the ground beneath your feet. When eating, chew slowly, savoring each bite instead of rushing to finish. When speaking with someone, truly listen without preparing your reply. These pauses may feel small, but they carry immense power. They bring you back to the present moment, where true life exists. Another practice is mindful breathing. Set aside short breaks where you do nothing but breathe. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Focus on the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest.
This anchors you in the now and reminds you that peace is always just one breath away. Even in the busiest day, this simple act can restore your energy and sharpen your mind. Journaling can also be a form of pausing. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to write down your thoughts, gratitude, or reflections. By slowing down to put words on paper, you create space to process your experiences instead of letting them rush by unnoticed. And remember, slowing down is not only for the quiet moments, it is also for the bigger choices in life. Before chasing a new goal or making a big decision, pause to ask, is this aligned with my true purpose? Often in the stillness, the right answer emerges, saving you years of running in the wrong direction. The practice of slowing down is not about doing less, it is about living more deeply. It is about infusing presence into everything you do. Over time, you will notice a shift. Your actions will become more effective. Your mind will feel lighter. Your relationships will grow stronger. You will move forward, not with haste, but with grace. So begin today. Protect your pauses as sacred. Slow down your pace, not to fall behind, but to rise higher. For in the wisdom of slowing down, you will find the true speed your soul was always seeking. The closing inspiration. As we reach the end of this journey together, I invite you to pause once more. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the noise of the day fade for a moment. Feel the stillness in this very instant. This is where the true power lies, in the pause. The world will always tell you to move faster, to keep running, to never stop. But the deeper truth is this: sometimes the only way to speed up is to slow down. Think about everything we have explored. We began with the illusion of constant motion, how society glorifies busyness and convinces us that endless activity equals progress. We saw how this illusion drains our energy, steals our peace, and keeps us trapped in cycles that lead nowhere. And then we turned to the wisdom of pausing, the understanding that stillness is not weakness, but preparation, that silence is not empty, but full of power. Life itself reflects this wisdom. The seasons pause in winter before blooming in spring. The ocean retreats before returning in waves. The breath flows in and out, each inhale balanced by an exhale. Without the pause, there is no rhythm. Without the pause, there is no harmony. You too are part of this rhythm, and when you align with it, your life regains balance and clarity. The greatest masters of spirit and wisdom understood this. Buddha's awakening came in stillness under the tree. The Prophet Muhammad received revelation in the quiet of the cave. Jesus renewed his strength in the wilderness. None of them rushed blindly. They all embraced pause as a doorway to transformation. Their examples remind us that slowing down is not falling behind. It is moving into alignment with a greater flow. And now, the invitation is for you. Take what you have learned here and carry it into your life. Do not fear slowing down. Do not confuse rest with laziness. When you pause, you are not abandoning your goals. You are sharpening your vision. When you rest, you are not losing time. You are gaining strength. When you stop, you are not failing. You are allowing wisdom to rise within you. Imagine living a life where your actions are fewer, but far more powerful. Where your words are fewer, but carry greater weight. Where your days are slower, but infinitely richer. This is the life that slowing down offers. It is not about abandoning ambition. It is about aligning ambition with purpose. It is not about running away from the world. It is about engaging with the world from a place of clarity, presence, and peace. So, my friend, as you leave this message and return to your life, remember this truth. Slow down to speed up. Protect your pauses. Honor your stillness. Trust the silence. For in the pause, you will find strength. In the silence, you will find clarity. And in slowing down, you will finally discover the speed your soul was always seeking. As we close this journey together, take one last moment to pause. Inhale slowly, exhale gently, and feel yourself alive in this very moment. This pause you are experiencing right now. this stillness, is the essence of everything we have spoken about. For life is not only about how fast you can run, but how deeply you can be present. We began by exploring the illusion of speed. The world constantly tells us that faster is better, that constant motion equals success. Yet, in chasing this illusion, we often lose our health, our peace, and even our sense of purpose. We run endlessly, but arrive nowhere. That is the tragedy of confusing motion with progress. Then we discovered the wisdom of slowing down. Just as the archer must pause before releasing the arrow, just as the heart must rest between beats, we too must embrace moments of stillness if we want our actions to be powerful. Slowing down is not weakness, it is wisdom. It gives us clarity, energy, and direction. We also looked at the lives of great spiritual masters, Buddha, Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, and sages across traditions. Their most profound revelations came not in chaos, but in silence. They remind us that stillness is not the absence of progress, but the birthplace of transformation. If the greatest teachers of history found their strength in pausing, then so can we. But wisdom without practice is only half the journey. That is why we explored how to bring pausing into daily life. By starting your mornings with silence, by breathing mindfully, by walking slowly, by truly listening, you can anchor yourself in presence. These small pauses become gateways to peace, strength, and clarity. Over time, they transform not only your actions, but your entire way of being. And now, here at the end, we arrive at the deepest truth. Sometimes, to speed up, you must slow down. Success is not measured by how fast you move, but by how aligned you are with your purpose. Busyness may impress others, but stillness connects you with yourself. Hustle may win you rewards, but pausing gives you wisdom. And in the end, it is wisdom that leads to lasting success. So, my friend, as you step back into the world, carry this lesson in your heart. Do not be afraid to slow down. Do not fear the pause. Protect your moments of stillness as sacred. For in those pauses, you will find the strength to act with power, the clarity to move with direction, and the peace to walk your path with grace. Slow down, and you will see life open before you. Slow down, and you will discover the rhythm of your soul. Slow down, and you will truly speed up, not in haste, but in harmony with the flow of existence.